Is it time to save our season? Is tomorrow's game the most important game of our season? Can we claw some clarity back with this game against Port Vale tomorrow? Let's find out together. But before we get into this, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, you turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when I upload and when I go live, and let's talk about the game. So let's talk a little bit about the history of this game. The last time we ever played Port Vale in any competition was in April 1929. 1929! That is a mad statistic, and I think it's mad that we haven't played Port Vale in such a long time. So it is something for Port Vale to shout about. It could be potentially a banana skin for Chelsea, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But all of our other 14 meetings between Port Vale and Chelsea were between 1905-06 and 1928-29. 7 Chelsea wins, 4 draws, and 3 Port Vale wins. Now, does this bode well for us? Well, these were so long ago. We don't even know if this is going to bode well for us. So, we have to take into consideration that we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, there's lots to discuss around this game and for this game, and we'll get into some of this stuff. But, guys, let me know in the comments, do you think this could be a potential banana skin for Chelsea tomorrow? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's talk about the situation of the last few weeks and what's been happening at Chelsea Football Club. Let's talk about Enzo Fernandez. He's been talking about how nice it is in Madrid, how he'd love to live there, how it reminds him of Buenos Aires. And today, Liam Rosenior has come out and announced that Enzo Fernandez has been suspended for 2 games. For this game tomorrow against Port Vale and the game next weekend against Manchester City. Now, do I think this is a bad thing? In one sense, yes. In one sense, no. And I'll explain why. So, with Enzo Fernandez talking and flirting with another club, I do think that's right, that he should be suspended. But, in the other sense, I believe it's a bad call on Rosenior's side. Only because Enzo Fernandez is one of our better players and we could do with him, you know, especially next weekend against a team like Manchester City, who are going to be a tough team to beat anyway. So, in one sense, you could have just said, okay, don't play this game. He's suspended for this game, but you're back next week for Manchester City. But no, Liam Rosenior has put his foot down and said he's suspended for 2 games. Fair enough. Fair enough. I do see the point. But he has talked about the leaders at this club, and there's a lot to be discussed. So let's have a look at what was officially said about Enzo Fernandez, and then we'll look at the leadership situation at Chelsea Football Club. So let's get into this now. For Fabrizio Romano, Enzo Fernandez will be left out of the next 2 games by Chelsea after his recent quotes on future Madrid and more. Enzo will not play tomorrow and against Man City. I have no bad words for him, but a line was crossed and we had to sanction Enzo, says Liam Rosenior. And then he talks about the leaders at the club. Rosenior on vice-captain, while Enzo Fernandez is out for the next 2 games. Moi Caicedo, Tosin, Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Marco Correa. We have leaders. I'll make the decision later today. So in all technicality, right, let's just be very clear. Let's just be very, very, very clear. Tosin, I get why you talk about him being a leader. He's the oldest in the squad. He's the elder statesman. But he's not good enough to be in the squad in the first place. So why would you even consider it? Why would you even consider that? I get Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Marco Correa. I do get those. Joao Pedro, not so sure. But Tosin, really? I get he's got the experience and he's the elder statesman, but he doesn't do naff all for us. He's just there. And he hasn't played well when he's played. So let's take that into consideration. A bit more on this quarterfinal though with Port Vale. Port Vale have never won an away game against Chelsea in 7 attempts. They've drawn 1 and lost 6, with only 4 teams playing more times there without a win. Hull City, who had played 23 games, Bristol with 13, Reading 10, and Swindon Town 8. You know, this game is just... It could be a banana skin, or we could walk over Port Vale. If we look at our last 4 results, though, our last 4 results, we lost to Paris Saint-Germain, we lost to Newcastle, we lost to Paris Saint-Germain again, and then we lost to Everton. Now, Port Vale's last results, they've lost 4-0 to Wickham, 1-0 to Doncaster, they won against Bolton, they lost against Blackpool, and they drew against Huddersfield. So, you could say this is going to go either way. I'm actually very worried about this game. I'm actually fairly worried. And the reason I'll say that is we have just not been good enough this season. And we always slip up. And even against smaller teams, we nearly screwed it up against Wrexham. So we'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Let's quickly talk about the lineup and what I would do as well. Because I'm not going to show you the lineup on screen because I haven't got the graphic. But I want to talk about the lineup and what I think we should do tomorrow. Obviously, I'm blue co out, and I shouldn't really say I'll be giving you a lineup. I should be saying just blue co out. But I'm willing to give you a lineup based on what I think will happen tomorrow. So this will be the lineup that I think Rossini is going to go with. I think he's going to go with Jorgensen in goal. I think he's going to go with a back four of Gusto, Drolhato, Badiashile and Tosin. I think that would be his back four and a goalkeeper. Moving into the double pivot, I see him going with Romeo Lavia and Andre Santos. I don't think Moises Caicedo will play tomorrow. He might be on the bench, we'll see. But that's what I think Liam Rossini will go with. Moving into the 3 behind the striker. On the left, I'm going to say Garnacho. I say he plays Garnacho tomorrow. On the right, I think he'll play Pedro Neto. In the number 10, Cole Palmer will probably play. You might get like 60 minutes. And up top, I probably would say Liam Delap will play. But that's what I think. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys, about that. Let me know your predictions in the comments as well, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on your predictions. In my personal opinion, I'm actually going to say we'll lose. I'm going to say it goes 2-2 after extra time. And we lose on penalties. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drop a comment on your thoughts. And turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when I upload. And guys, I will see you tomorrow for the watch along. Take care.